I'm sure the latest debt payment news by Evergrande has put you all in a strange dilemma. If anyone has missed the breaking news, then here it is. Evergrande has made a second payment which was about to be defaulted on October 29th. The 30 days grace period of this missed payment was about to end on October 29th, and the company has once again jumped in to save itself. Now this gives the feeling that the CCP is right. Evergrande might be capable enough to take care of itself without a rescue from the government. Maybe they just don't want to sweat this out. It is said that actions speak louder than words. So what's the truth? Is Evergrande lying to us? Can they actually save themselves? As we delve into this, you must subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notifications for the regular finance updates of the market. So guys, Evergrande has made a narrow escape again by paying off a default the second time. This time it is a $47.5 million of coupon payment. The first payment they did amounted to $83.5 million. There are many more payments that's coming up. The one that is prominent and everyone is looking forward to is a missed payment on October 11th. This one is going to hit the 30 days grace period on November 11th. Investors are holding their breath to see how Evergrande is going to handle this one. The three coupon payments that the company had already missed amounted up to $280 million. Especially the October 29th deadline was important for Evergrande. A default on that payment would have triggered cross defaults on companies' all other bonds in international capital markets. Also, Evergrande has a total of 19 billion worth bonds internationally. A cross default would have resulted in world's second largest emerging market debt default in the name of Evergrande. In November and December, there are many offshore coupon payments coming up for the company, which adds up to nearly $338 million. With three missed payments, the company's bonds have been trading in discounts for many weeks now. At more than 75% discount from the face value and a yield of more than 190%, Evergrande's bonds are at a weird stage in the market. Investors are really interested in grabbing the high-yield bonds at such a low price. At the same time, the ongoing saga of defaults is stopping many of them. While Evergrande is somehow managing to skip the default disasters, they are not transparent about how do they manage it all. The sources of these sudden money influx is not revealed yet. Cliff Zhao, chief strategist at China Construction Bank International, has opinioned that Evergrande must be trying hard to increase their liquidity currently in all possible ways. However, it seems impossible for them to procure enough funds to fulfill all the upcoming payments, which broadly means that a default at some point is going to be unavoidable. This seems logical. Maybe it is those efforts from the developer's side is what has helped them to pay the two defaulted payments at the last moment. Negotiations between Evergrande and its lenders are also seemingly going on. Many other developers have been defaulting in the last month. Many of them had discussions with their lenders to extend the bond maturities or to take up a debt restructuring. As we all know, CCP has been hard on the real estate sector recently. The officials are determined to curb the debt frenzy that developers were going through. As a part of this move, many banks have exposed the real estate developers' financial dealings. In 2020, one of Evergrande's leaked documents showed that they have liabilities to more than 128 banks and 121 non-banking institutions. But Evergrande has totally disregarded the details in this document and told that it was fake. The company has more than $300 billion of liability in its book today. This is only the numbers that we know of. If so much is happening inside the company, then who knows what the real mess actually is. Many analysts have said it is highly likely that Hui Kenyan has in fact used his personal wealth to make these two payments. We know that CCP has asked the man to use his own money to take care of the issue. The matter of fact is that there is no other way around. All the ways to get any immediate money is blocked for Evergrande. The cash in the bank accounts cannot be redirected as the government is keeping a close watch on that. So how did they make the payments? With available financial statements of Evergrande, we can say that currently the company doesn't have much left to repay offshore bonds. Hui has a net worth of $11 billion. At the given situation, he will think of at least using some of it to buy more time for the company. Hui doesn't want to go through lengthy legal proceedings with his offshore creditors because of the bond defaults. That would only complicate things. The best option for him is to pay off the immediate payments using his personal money and avoid defaults until Evergrande finds a sustainable solution to deal with the $300 billion of liabilities on it. As we all know, the property sales unit of Evergrande was up for a sale last month. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. The taker, Hobson Development, is still available for the purchase if Evergrande is ready to approve their conditions. We must be expecting to make that happen soon. Evergrande also has the responsibility to deliver unfinished real estate projects as soon as possible. So it would be sensible for Hui Kenyan to make the payments with his money and focus on the company's real projects now. Evergrande's current plight is not fitting to the company's glory as a developer giant. In 2020, it was the second largest property developer in China by sales. It was ranked 122nd position in the Fortune 500 list. The company was founded in 1996. Evergrande made its way up with the combined mission of Hui Kenyan and the Communist Party of China. Hui wanted his business to flourish and China wanted their country to be urbanized. As government helped real estate companies to spread their wings in all possible ways, Hui made his dream come true by turning his small real estate company into a billions worth business empire. The Evergrande group of companies has a net income of $1 billion per year and total assets of $306 billion as per the numbers of 2020. The company has over 200,000 permanent employees. However, if we count the numerous temporary and contract-based jobs, Evergrande has created more than 3 million jobs every single year. They have projects running on more than 125 cities. That includes places inside China and outside China. So over the years, the Chinese developers have changed the face of the country. At the same time, they also have created an economy running on debts. Chinese government, who has realized the big threat going on with the debt-ridden economy, is taking stringent rules these days. The CCP has turned their face the other way. For the long haul, the cycle of debt, which is supported by speculated high home prices, will be polluting the economy. The real estate bubble is a bubble made of hiked up property value and prices. If the price falls, everything falls. It's better to take action now than repenting later. The CCP's approach towards the whole Evergrande crisis is a very risky one. It may lead to a crash, but China is expecting to do better with their economy. Even if it has to go through a crash, in a way it's good to take the brunt of a calculated collapse now, rather than facing an unexpected meltdown of the whole economy sooner or later. That's why government is forcing companies to handle their debt issues themselves, because this is going to be their future. The real estate developers better learn to straighten out their financial statements, or they should go out of business for good. The way Evergrande has handled the crisis until now should be appreciated. They made 2 missed payments, which means there is no accounted official defaults from the company yet. And probably they will manage the rest also somehow, be it by using Hui Kenyan's personal wealth. This should be a guideline for the other developers as well. It would be better for all of them to prepare themselves and make the payments before they become official defaults. If Evergrande didn't dare to default, then nobody should. Now friends, if you want to understand how Evergrande's founder Hui Kenyan is getting pressurized to pay the debt with his own personal wealth, then you should check out this video.